Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
That has got to be the most awful sound on the planet. Hi, my name is Neil Matthews. I want to tell you about a new app that I've discovered. It's called Low-Key Listening. Now, let me tell you how this works. First off, you want to go download the app right now from your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store. What you're going to do is you're going to set up a free account. From there, you're going to find somebody who's available to listen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A real live human being. Now, if you don't feel like talking to them, that's okay. You can actually send voice notes to them. You can text the person. Here's the best part. Not only are they anonymous, you're anonymous as well. It's called Low-Key Listening. And let me tell you, if you're overwhelmed, if you're feeling just a little down, or maybe you have a victory that you want to share, Low-Key Listening is there for you. I've used it myself personally, and let me tell you, it is one of the most amazing apps that is out there right now. Go check it out. Low-Key Listening, again, available at your phone's app store right now. Set up a free account, try it out for yourself, see if Low-Key Listening can help you when you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you just need a friend to talk to. Again, Low-Key Listening. Check it out now.
They say opportunity knocks, but what if it's not opportunity? What if it's something or someone else? A familiar voice from the past, a chance you've been waiting for, a mistake you thought you left behind, or maybe something far bigger than you imagined. Some doors were open without hesitation, others will cautiously peek through, and some we wish had never answered. This season on Other People's Shoes, host Neil Matthews is asking one question. Who's there? Will you answer? Will you hesitate? Step inside season 22 of Other People's Shoes, where every knock holds a story, and every door leads to a choice. Now here's your host, Neil Matthews.
Welcome in to Other People's Shoes. All right, full disclosure. We have a Ring camera, okay? I'm tired of maybe justifying that to some. We even have a camera out by the gate. Yeah, we have a gate that you have to do the code thing. I'm not telling you what the code is. Probably guess if you're really smart. Today's guest... Listen, people approach us. We get agents, we get publicists, we get fancy people pitching us their guests. Somehow this snuck through the goalie. I'm not sure how. Maybe it was a Wayne Gretzky double dink from the days of Mighty Ducks. Charlie, he did a good job. I think that's what I should start calling my booking agent, Charlie. Charlie. Somehow this snuck through. How on earth and why on earth did someone ever book somebody who is a graduate of the school that I don't even want to talk about, that I don't even want to think about, that I don't even want to breathe about? You talk about something being at the front door? Ugh.
It's a Duke grad.
Yeah, it's a Duke grad. I thought this day would never happen. I'm not really mentally prepared for this yet. But we're going to give her a chance. Maybe she has some worthwhile stuff to say. Maybe she can really help us get into other people's shoes. I mean, that is the essence of what we're about, is walking truly in other people's shoes. And I guess we can't really honor that if we're not at least extending an invitation to my friend Monica. Help me welcome in my new friend Monica. Monica, how are you today?
I'm very well, Neil. And, we can be friends for 360-ish days a year. When Duke and Carolina play, we're not going to be friends. It's over.
I just have 2 words for you before we start. Just 2. You ready? Caleb Love. My second 2 words I would also give, because 2 is fun, but 4 is better, is Final Four. That's all. Let that sit on the table.
I was at the Final Four this year. It was heartbreaking. But you know what? At least my team was there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Cooper Flagg. Big old brick. Can't stand that kid.
Now he's in Dallas and I'm in Texas, so I'm excited I can still go watch him.
I'm wondering to see how well he does. I really am.
I really hope he does well. Like, he's just a good kid, honestly.
Is he though?
He is, dude. He's like this little unknown nothing from the state of Maine.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
He's built a homeless shelter in Maine. I know you hate him because he went to Duke. Take the jersey off and you'll like him.
He is signed with New Balance, so I do question his financial and his shoes choices. I'm just saying. New Balance, also a shoe I hate. He has 2 things against him.
I understand that. They offered you a few $1 million. You might take it too.
People ask me that all the time because I can't stand them. They're like, all right, so Duke comes. I'm like, that's never going to happen. And then 2, it's New Balance. I'm like, also never going to happen. Anyway.
We digress.
Well, Monica, whereabouts in Texas? Because I know that's a huge state.
It is rather large. In fact, I am in Central Texas. I am in the north side of Austin. So in the weird part.
Okay. So you're almost in like Longhorn country.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Longhorn country is like 20 minutes from me. I also happen to be from Ohio, which makes me a Buckeye fan. And
2 strikes already against you, speaking of things of two.
Yeah. So, Texas fans aren't big fans of Ohio State fans. It's okay, though. It's all right. I'm used to these rivalries. It's what I live for.
My friends that are Duck fans, they're like, so we hate Ohio State as much as you hate Duke. Yeah, probably pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty close.
It's like I live for the teams that everyone hates.
It's kind of true. I'm feeling that about you.
I know.
Feeling that about you already.
It's okay, though. I'm all right because they hate us because we're good. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, that might be one of the reasons why people hate Duke. I mean, there could be a whole book
Christian
about
Laettner might be a reason.
Could be a whole book about it and a documentary even. Anyway, moving forward. All right, so help us with this, Monica, because I love truly to lead off every show with this question, and that's this. What style of shoe might we find you in that Austin area?
Well, that's a great question. My feet are very specific about what they like to wear. So I am a Brooks running shoe girl. That is what I wear. The same kind all the time, just the newest color. Yes, if I'm in tennis shoes, it'll be Brooks running shoes. If I'm in like dress shoes, I typically wear Clarks because I'm an old lady and I'm not that old. Feet are important.
So I always say the 2 things people need to spend money on, I feel like I'm sensing a theme here of 2 things, is a great pair of shoes and a really good bed.
100%.
Because if you're not spending money on those 2 things, you're going to have issues. Truly. And that's just free. That's free advice.
I'm going to say as a healthcare provider, I agree with you.
So no HIPAA violations will be violated in the recording of this episode, I should say. Maybe as is my disclaimer.
Correct.
Okay,
yes,
fair enough.
We'll keep it HIPAA clean.
I always like the word HIPAA because it makes me think of hippopotamus, and I just like saying the word hippopotamus.
Well, and interestingly, people always misspell it. It's not HIPPA, it's HIPAA. So it's really HIPAA, not HIPAA.
I always like the PP version, maybe because I like to say PP because I'm a middle schooler still. We're getting off track, as always.
I know, right?
I know, it's the host's fault. When we talk about this idea of someone at the front door, like who's there, what did that do to you? How did that resonate? How did that percolate in the synapses? That's a health thing, I think. Just wondering about this idea of who's there. What did it do for you personally?
Yeah, when I first heard it, the first thing I thought was the Amazon guy, because that's always who's at my front door every day, all day. Every day. We also have a gate to get into our neighborhood. We don't get just random people at the door. With the age of technology, people don't come to your house anymore either. Yeah. Typically, if somebody's actually like knocking at my door, it's probably to deliver something.
Well, that's fun, right? Amazon is fun. Jeff Bezos and his friends have made it easy for us to get things. But what else might be at your front door that maybe you weren't expecting, perhaps?
Lots of things have knocked on my front door in my life. And that's from every opportunity. The fact that I had an opportunity to go to Duke, like that was a huge person at my front door that I never thought would come true. I also hated Duke until I got an acceptance letter. And then I was like, oh, now I'm on board. I've had so many things knock at my door throughout my life that have gotten me to where I am, that have led to decisions that have helped me to build this amazing thing I call life at this point. What I didn't realize is that they were actual knocks. I just thought that it was somebody telling me something. And in fact, it was actually a very big knock at the front door of like, hey, you should do this. Have you thought about this? And typically the answer was no. I think there's been lots of knocks and there continue to be more knocks. I'm here for those knocks. I'm ready to live them and keep on pushing through this thing we call life.
I too think about the knocks in my life, the things that have come to my front door, the things that I've allowed in, the things that I've welcomed in. My wife and I watched this Michael B. Jordan movie a while back, and it was involving vampires. So spoiler if you haven't seen it. I think the movie's called Sinners or something, or Sin. But he plays 2 characters, plays these twin brothers, Michael B. Jordan does. My wife is a big vampire fan. She's Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan from back in the day, and Angel. We're truly, really dating ourselves in this moment, I feel like, and maybe tattling on her a little bit because her mom might not know she watches vampire stuff. So Mom, Christine, your daughter watches vampire movies. The thing about that I don't know if vampires are real or fake or what. One thing about them, at least what they're portrayed in the movies, is they can't come inside unless you invite them in. And I'm wondering about that maybe even for you is we ask in our little questionnaire survey, which I always think is fun, and we ask some bizarre questions people have told me. But one question that seems to never go off my list, and it's this question of, have you listened to any past shows? And I'm always curious if someone's gone and listened to what we've done in the past. I don't freak out if someone hasn't. Sometimes people say, hey, I haven't checked it out yet. I will soon. Sometimes people even say like specific episodes that they've listened to. Yours was interesting, and I'm going to quote it if I don't mess it up. It says, I've listened to a couple in season 9. Season 9. That was a little bit ago for us.
Mm-hmm.
Are you enough? And it says, this is an issue I've struggled with my entire life. I'm starting to understand my worth is not defined by the number of hours I work, the revenue I generate, or any of the other measurable numbers. How do you explain the are you enough package, if you will, at your front door? You said you've struggled with not part of your life, not some of your life, not like 5% of your life. No, you actually say my entire life.
Entire life, yes. I am a people pleaser and an overachiever to a fault. Because of that, I have based my success and my worth off of what I think other people define it as. If I don't work enough hours, if I think my employees think I'm not working hard enough, can I go on vacation? Will my employees think I'm doing enough work? Have I built enough revenue? Have I opened enough clinics? Have I taken care of enough people to prove to the world that I am worthy of all of it? And it has been a struggle my entire life. And I'm finally, after a lot of therapy and journaling, finally getting to the point where I'm over it. I am starting to understand that my worth is not tied to a revenue number. My worth is not tied to how many patients we help, and that my success is also not tied to those numbers, and that I am worthy of people's love and admiration regardless of those things. We're always trying to be bigger, stronger, faster, grow your business, all of the things. I'm just over it. I'm now to the point where success no longer is tied to a number. It's tied to what I want to do in life. And that is travel, spend time with my family, feel like I've made an impact in the world. I'm not willing to give up my sanity for that. I think there's a lot of people that struggle with that as well, constantly chasing someone else's definition of success instead of our own.
But where did that start?
About a year ago, I was on a reality TV show called the Blox. It is a business entrepreneur competition. If you Google the Blox, Blox, I was on season 18. You can go back and watch it. Spoiler alert, I won the season.
What?
Yeah, I won $10,000, was crowned the entrepreneur of the season. And so I came home from that and I was like on fire. I'm going to open 5 more clinics. I'm going to do all of these things. And I became physically ill because I was so burnt out. A lot of therapy and journaling. I had realization, what am I doing? I'm chasing what I think other people think I should be doing. Finally admitted out loud that I didn't want to open any more clinics. I have 3 at the time. So I had to figure out, continue to make an impact in the world. If I'm not going to open 10 clinics and change the world of healthcare in Austin, Texas, what am I going to do? So I actually completely pivoted and I wrote a book, released a course to help other healthcare providers get into the world that I'm in. It wasn't until I physically was sick and I was like, what is going on? Why am I so sick? And it's like, wait, you're a healthcare provider. You should know this. And that was kind of my turning point where I was like, you know what? I'm done chasing other people's idea of success. And I really am going to define my definition. I went to Duke because it sounds good. Let's be honest. When I was going to grad school, I went to undergrad at Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio. No one knows where that is. Nobody's heard of them. It's a school. And so when I decided to go to graduate school, I was like, I'm going to go somewhere where when I say where I went to school, people are like, oh, I know where that is. So I applied to 3 schools. John Hopkins, Duke, and Yale. I went to the one that gave me the most money. It was not because I thought Duke was the best school. It's just because I knew everybody had heard of it. I've done so many things in my life because I think it sounded good and would make other people think I'm successful, I'm smart, I'm all these things. Yeah, it turns out that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what I think. And this is my life to live. I'm just over it. I don't have to do what everybody else thinks I should be doing. I need to do what I think I should be doing.
But who put that on Monica?
Monica did.
Okay. I'm trying to be the doctor here. Not that I am one, obviously, because I'm not. It had to have come somewhere. I mean, even 7-year-old you, people are not putting that on you. You put that on you?
I remember the day I was in 3rd grade and we took the standardized test. And if you were in a certain level of the standardized test, you got put into the gifted program is what it was called back then. I got put in that program in 3rd grade, and it forever stamped me as the smart girl. I really didn't have an identity before that. Like, I wasn't a big athlete. I wasn't anything else. 3rd grade, I became the smart girl, and it was just expected of me forever, is that I get straight A's. I'm really smart. I'm a leader. I'm all of these things. I also was a very chubby child, and I'm also very tall. So I am 6'1". I was 5'4" when I was 10. So I've always kind of stood out from a height perspective for sure, but I was also a chubby kid. It just became my identity that I was the smart girl, and it has haunted me every day since then.
6'1"?
I am 6'1", yes. My sister-in-law is 6'4", though, so I'm the short one.
It's a tall family. And you never played basketball?
I did. I played basketball in high school.
I was going to say you had to have.
I played rugby in college, actually.
Yikes.
So, I know. Don't mess with me. I'll come tackle you.
That's interesting to me. Nobody came along. Nobody said, here are the expectations. I'm guessing you're the oldest or maybe close to the top of the food chain at the family dynamic.
I'm actually the middle child.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm also the peacekeeper of my family, and I always have been. My parents did not get along when we were younger. They should have been divorced years before they finally separated. Once they separated when I was 17, they became friends again. My job, not only in my younger world, was to be the smart one, but also to be the peacekeeper. I have been trying to earn the love of my parents since that time. My father unfortunately passed away when I was 20. My mother is still alive and well. Every day it has been I have to earn my love. I have to earn the love of my parents, of everyone else. And that's how I do it, is by showing that I am successful. And I'm a peacekeeper. I do not like conflict. I've gotten much better at it now as a business owner, but man, it's been a struggle in my life. I will do whatever it takes to make things successful and work.
Again, I don't know a lot about family dynamics, but I know the oldest is usually the kind of the trendsetter, the protector, the guiding force, maybe more adult than say the younger. Mm-hmm. I married an older child. She probably regrets the life choice of marrying me because I'm the younger and the spoiled brat and the I'll get to it when I get to it kind of mentality of the younger kid.
Yeah.
The gypsy, the dreamer, that's me. And she's the let's go. I have the agenda, the next 7 years of our life planned out. But it's interesting because when it involves taking a choice or a risk, big life change, maybe a new church, let's move into a new house. Hey, I think we should do this. I'm the one like the catalyst behind that. She's like, I'm fine living in the little apartment that we started in. Because even in your dynamic of growing up, you must have saw something in the older kid that then made you maybe want to step out and show up as the middle kid. Hey, don't forget about me. Look at me. Look at what I'm doing. By the way, I went to Duke. Did you know I went to Duke? Look over here. Look how great I am. Is that any part of your story or no?
My brother was also... He was a bit of a troublemaker at times, wasn't the best in school. It would just piss my parents off and then they would yell. And then that just did not keep the peace. And that did not work for me. Once again, my parents had enough issues to argue over, especially financially. I would just do anything it took to try to keep the peace. And so I saw when my brother would bring home poor grades or would get in trouble for something, it's not like he was a troublemaker. He just was an average kid. I just would do everything and anything to be like, look, I got straight A's. Look, I got an A on this test. Look, I got this award. I did these things. And I think that was how I thought you earned love. And turns out it's not. Learning lessons late in life. Took me 42 years, but I'm figuring it out.
So how does that show up in your marriage? How does that show up in the peacekeeper, the people pleaser, the high achiever? How does that show up even as a mom?
The struggle is real because I want to be the number one best mom ever because that's what I do. I'm good at everything I do and I want to be the best at that, especially with parenting. Dear God, nobody tells you how hard it is. You can do everything in the world to be the best parent ever and your kid can still be a shit show. Once again, lots of journaling. Thankfully I'm married a successful overachiever. So that's been helpful because we kind of feed off of one another and we just talk great things about each other.
It's a competition is why, I bet.
It's funny. After I went to Duke, I got a postmaster's from Drexel in nursing education. Only did that because my husband went back to get his MBA. And I was like, you can make more money than me, but you cannot be smarter than me. I had to get a third degree so that his second degree would not even me out. But then I always just pull my Duke card. I'm like, yeah, but I went to Duke.
And game
over. And he's okay with that. He knows my ways. I do find that I struggle to ask for help, especially when it comes to things around the house. So instead of saying, hey, can you guys help me unload the dishwasher? I'll just get pissed off about it and be like, fine, I'll empty this stupid dishwasher because you all are sitting and watching TV after I made dinner. I really have to just ask because I will ask. Now, the problem is I just think they should do it. I shouldn't have to say, hey, can you help with the laundry? Hey, can you help take trash out? What I realize is they aren't going to do it unless I ask. It has taken a lot for me to just ask for help, but I'm learning.
I really feel like I need to have you talk to somebody that's about 6 to 8 feet that way.
What I realize is that having a clean kitchen and having laundry put away, these are things that matter to me. They don't necessarily matter to them. They will help me if I ask. If I don't ask, they don't know that I want them to do it. I've learned to speak up and that people can't read my mind. And that has been helpful. The struggle, it's real.
Full transparency here. I'm a recovering pigpen. I want to do everything myself first and think about the family second. Mm-hmm. Man, that felt like a weight lifted.
Right? I'm glad you could admit that today.
Yeah. HIPAA violations aside.
I feel like we're in a therapy session today. I like it.
All right. Duke grad aside. Yeah,
you said the word.
How on earth would you help somebody like me understand everything you're describing, your achievements, your accolades, and your praise, and seeking that? My wife is going to hear this back and she's going to be like, really? You used me as the example? Well, sometimes it fits. Mm-hmm. She's all of those things, minus being the middle kid. I think she grew up thinking, I have to be the best. I have to take care of the whole family. Her mom and dad divorced when they were very young. She grew up kind of, in a lot of respects, not noticed or seen in high school. Mm-hmm. Like, she didn't do the sports like you and I did. She didn't do the drama stuff. She literally just went through school, did the classes, and left. Got very good grades. Worked at a bank for a long time. She's really smart when it comes to numbers. They just understand her. Numbers and I are like, we're not even friends. Stop talking to me. She wants things a certain way. The house, the pillows on our bed. I mean, good God, how many pillows can be on the bed?
I'm not a pillow girl. I don't even make my bed.
Praise Jesus. I come home. I mean, it's like little hopscotch of things like throughout the house. As I walk through the house, I'm like, oh, here's my wallet. Here's my knife. Here's my cell phone. Here's my iPad. Here's this. Here's that. And it's like this trickle of Hansel and Gretel all the way where I've been.
Mm-hmm. You would drive me crazy.
The dishes seem to be a sticky button. We have now this 18-year-old, sort of 19-year-old, sort of 27-year-old young lady living in our house now with a dog, which we never thought we'd be dog people. That's another story for another time. She comes home and she works extremely hard. She's a partner at her place where she works. I try to explain the job to you of what she does, but most people are like, what? I don't get it. Is that a thing? These are all the things that drive her absolutely bonkers. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give to someone listening? Maybe that's a husband, or maybe they're the spouse. Maybe they're the wife that does all these pigpen type things that you've experienced. Yeah. Because again, you're talking about this idea of you had to learn, in a sense, if what I'm hearing you correctly, of find your voice, of to set all that stuff aside of saying, hey, I'm not going to be a people pleaser. I'm not going to be this. Here's my voice and here's how I'm using it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People like me and your wife, we like control in our lives. This is why we are as successful as we are. We like to be in control of things. And when things are not in control, it gives us a form of anxiety, honestly, especially if things ever seem out of control or are stressful. We definitely need to control the things we can control, and clutter in our house is the number one thing. So if I ever feel like stressed or whatever, I will clean things because then I can put it back in order. When I come home from a day and there's crap all over my kitchen counter, it gives me anxiety. And it's because, okay, I just left my job where I was busy and doing all these things and probably still have a to-do list to do. And then I come home to my sanctuary and it's a disaster and I can't deal with it. After dinner, if the kitchen is not cleaned, I'm not going to go sit down and relax. I can't. If there's laundry that has to be done, if my kid's soccer jersey has to be ready for tomorrow, I am not going to go sit down and then do it later. I can't deal with that. My guess is that your wife is the same way, where that clutter, she can't turn her head off until it's done. My advice to you is pick your shit up and stop leaving it everywhere.
That's a medical term, right?
Absolutely. You want to make your wife happy? Just put your things where they belong. Everything should have a space, right?
Don't
and if it
say
doesn't
that. No, not every space has a place.
A space. Everything has a place, my friend. Your keys, your wallet, they have a place. And if they don't, they need to find a place. And you need to put it in its place for your wife and for her sanity. And yes, help her do the damn dishes. Put them away.
I actually love to do the dishes. That's like my zen. I'll throw on some headphones, throw on some rap music. Man, I sound just like Eminem. I'm just saying.
You are. For sure. Just do it for her.
It sounds like what you're describing is kind of had things in a box. And some of the boxes splashed over. Some of the boxes maybe even got knocked over. Some of the boxes even like were overflowing. Talk about how you, even being in the medical field, your body just started almost kind of caving in on itself in a sense, like quitting on you, working it too hard.
Absolutely.
Walk me through that. Was that scary in those moments? Was that just another, I'll just fix it. I'll just fix the clutter. Just give me a second. I'll make this pretty again. I'll make this good again. I'll make this nice again. I'm going to put this back in the frame again.
A whole lot of years, people pleasing, overachieving, trying to be the best at everything, finally coming to a tipping point. And the box was so full and my cup was so empty that I just couldn't do it anymore. And so not only was I physically ill, my stress level was high. I wasn't sleeping, which is not typically me. And finally, I just had a break. I had a therapy session with my therapist, which if you're not in therapy, everybody should be. I'm just saying, you should not be going through life without therapy. And I just broke, sobbing, ugly girl broke down in therapy. I felt terrible, as if I had COVID, but I didn't have COVID. It was just like my body was just done. And so, yeah, it was this huge realization of why are you doing this? And interestingly, my therapist also went on the TV show with me. And so she was there. She watched it all happen. It was probably 4 weeks after the show that I have this like breakdown. And she's like, wait, what just happened? Like we went from this top of the world, you just won this competition, to you're like in the fetal position sobbing. What is going on? And she was like, Monica, you've got to stop this. You're constantly chasing what everyone else wants and not putting yourself and your priorities anywhere. I learned a lot about success and also setting boundaries. It is so important not only to set boundaries, but to set consequences if those boundaries are crossed, and to stick to it. Because without it, people are going to run all over you. This is what happened in my life. And even with my son, dude, put your shit away. It's not that hard. You're 10, put your shit away. We now have some very clear boundaries, some very clear consequences if those boundaries are not met. And I use that in not only my personal life, my work life, especially in the medical world. Medical world has changed a lot, where people used to come to us for advice and now they come to us with demands because ChatGPT told them that they need fill in the blank. It's like, listen, you should do some research. My 9 years of school and 17 years of experience means something. Setting boundaries has been really helpful as well. But yes, my box completely overflowed and exploded in a giant volcano-like way, and has really changed my life for the better.
I'm not a good boundary setter. I'm either all in or I'm all out. It's like the hokey pokey. And sometimes I think
that is kind of a boundary though. If you're like, nope, not doing that.
But sometimes I even turn myself around. I'm dead serious. Like when I first started my show, that was all I thought about. I woke up thinking about it throughout the day, be working like my normal job, we'll say, because this is not a normal job. This is my fairy tale job where I'm the boss, I'm the CEO, I'm the all the things. And I would go to work and I would be in between customers because I was in sales or in an office job. And I'd be thinking about the show and I'd write little notes to myself, or I'd pull out my phone and I'd be like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me jot that down real fast. And then I'd go back to my job. And then I'd do my job a little bit, a couple hours. And I'm like, oh, there's a thought. Let me pull out my phone and I jot that down, whatever. It got to the point where my wife, Elizabeth, she's like, all you're thinking about is your show. You're not thinking about anything else. You're so tunneled vision into this idea that you think you're going to be this whatever. And for me, it was the first time in my life where I was like, no, listen, I'm somebody. I'm in freaking iTunes. I'm in Apple. I'm somebody. Going through my whole life wanting somebody to just to give a care.
Right. Just to recognize you as a human.
You talk about that Are You Enough series. There's a lot of good shows that were in that season. I'm bragging a little bit. 2 shows in particular. Todd Marinovich, he played at USC. The dude did like drugs and cocaine and tried to find fulfillment and enoughness because being an NFL quarterback clearly wasn't enough. Being a Rose Bowl champion for USC wasn't enough. My mom grew up her whole life being told she wasn't enough, that her dad killed himself because of her. I mean, you talk about a not enough moment.
I think there's so many of us that are chasing that. I do think that it's shifting a bit. I think there were some generational things. The baby boomers, they were just taught to work and work and work and work and work. The idea of loving someone just because of who they were and who they are wasn't really a thing. You had to earn that love. We, like Gen X's or elder millennials, that's what I am, I guess. We were raised by those people who it was like, oh, did you clean up your room? Okay, then I'll love you. It was like, oh, you brought home A's. Yeah, we can celebrate that. It wasn't enough just to be you. I think a lot of our generations are struggling with that. I do think that we as parents now in the Gen X and elder millennial world are shifting that. We're at least trying to shift that for our children. Gen Zers, is that who they are? They're better at it. They're better at self-care. They're better at understanding that they are worthy of people's kindness and love, regardless of what their successes are. And so I'm hopeful that this is shifting, but I think that our generation is not great at that, unfortunately. Hopefully there's a lot of self-help books out there. I'll help you with that.
We're not. I'm not. And I think the struggle I run into even with my parents, they meant well. They really did. They really did the best that they could. I mean, my dad came from a broken home. My mom, as I've already described, came from a very broken home. And then what do 2 people who are broken do? Well, they get married. And then what happens? They create another environment or another ecosystem of brokenness.
Yeah, I definitely had a broken home. I had a father who had a drug addiction, was in rehab a few times, and it was not great. But I think that by me living through that, it has made me want to raise my children in a different way. I think every generation tries to make things better for their kid. Unfortunately, now I think I'm on the other side where I'm like, giving my kid too much and now he's becoming ungrateful. And I'm like, oh no, we will not have that, my friend. I think it's just difficult. It's really hard and it takes a lot of emotional therapy, honestly, a lot of understanding your worth. I also think we think the world is constantly judging us. No matter what you do, somebody else is looking at what you're doing and judging you for it. I'm here to tell you they aren't. They're judging themselves. They don't have time to judge you. One of my favorite quotes is that someone else's opinion of you is none of your business. And that has been really hard for me to deal with. Constantly like, oh, what does he think of me? Oh, does he like me? Does she like me? What can I do to make that person like me? It's taken a lot of time for me to realize that that doesn't necessarily matter. If people don't like me, that's their choice. I'll get over the fact you're a Carolina fan, or maybe I won't. It takes a lot of work to rethink worth, success, and all of those things involved to understand that you are enough just as you are.
So Monica, how would you answer this question? What do you do?
Ooh, what do I do? I change the world every day. I run a direct primary care office, which is a membership-based healthcare system where we actually take care of people instead of insurance companies. And I help other healthcare providers start their own practice just like mine so they can live their best life. And I travel. That's what I do. I travel. It's my love language.
It's interesting to me that you told me what your career was, not what you do first. Why is that?
Because that's what we identify with. I am a family nurse practitioner. I am a CEO. I am a business owner. And then I'm a mom and a sister and a wife and a traveler and a dog lover and an amateur seamstress. Those are all the things. I think it's just what we do is that we identify ourselves with the thing that people are going to think the best of us for. Because if I was just like, I'm a mom and a wife, unfortunately, in our society, stay-at-home moms are not deemed as super successful, although it is the number one hardest job on the planet. And I could never do it. And I have so much respect for stay-at-home moms because that job is thankless. There's no paycheck. There's no time clock. And unless you leave those damn kids at home, there's no vacation. To all the stay-at-home moms out there, keep being awesome. I can't do your job. But no, I think that's just what we do. It's a societal norm to tell people what you do, not who you are.
We were in Mexico back at the end of July, first part of August, and we were in the pool, swim up bar, and we happened to meet another American. It was the only 2 American families in the whole resort, us and this other couple.
I like it.
This guy, his name's Mark. Mark says, "Hey, Neil, what do you do?" And I paused for a second, the pregnant pause or the dramatic pause. And I said, "Man, I absolutely love to podcast. It makes me come alive. I love to play golf. Not super great, but man, I love to get my golf shoe on. I love to get my polo and carry my clubs. Man, I love it." So just love shoes. It's kind of a little collection thing that I have going on. And he goes, no. Like, what do you do for work? I say, "Oh, well, that's not what you asked. You asked, what do I do? Those are the things I do."
Mm-hmm.
You were asking what I do for a career. Oh, that's a different question.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Absolutely.
kind of just stood there a second, like, "No, you missed the question." And I'm like, "No, I think I nailed it."
Yeah. I think maybe we need to change societal norms and start asking the question. Whenever I go to networking group, I do a lot of networking. Whenever I meet somebody new, I'll just be like, "So tell me about you." Every time they tell me what they do. And then I'm like, no. Tell me about you. Who are you? Where are you from? Do you have any kids? Are you married? What are your passions in life? And I always get this weird look. But the thing is, I won't remember that person necessarily for what they do unless it's something, they're a rocket scientist who just went to the moon. Then I might be like, "Oh, well, that's interesting." I actually find it much more interesting to be like, "Oh, you have an obsession with shoes? Tell me more about this. Why do you have an obsession with shoes?" And then I'm going to actually remember that person. Yeah, I think you have it spot on. We just need to change the world. So everyone listening to this podcast, the next time you meet somebody and they tell you what their career is, tell them you don't want to know their career. You want to know what they do.
I just think that's changing the conversation.
Absolutely.
When I think of medical stuff, people that are accountants, stuff I don't understand. And you talk about being this overachiever, this puke grad, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Truly dreamed of going to the University of Connecticut. I wanted to be on ESPN. That was my end goal. I didn't know how I was going to get. And I remember my sophomore year of high school, we had to give a speech and we had to write a paper on an American that we really loved the most. That seems so like counterproductive nowadays. But anyway, I gave this 5 to 7 minute speech on Howard Cosell. By the way, never read the book, knew enough about Howard Cosell that I made it through. And I never even wrote the paper. But I gave this rousing, amazing speech for 5 to 7 minutes. And my English teacher who taught honors, the gifted kids, she's like, "Hey, come back next period. My honors kids aren't giving speeches like you just gave." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. Yeah, I'm just not ready to do that." She's like, "Let me just read your speech." And she goes to grab the paper and there's nothing on it. And she said, "There's no way you could have stood up there for 5 to 7 minutes and give a speech on somebody that you never even read the book on, Neil. How did you do that?" And I said, "Everyone can do that." She said, "Stay after class." Oh, great. Here we go. She told me as a little sophomore that if I ever wanted to work for ESPN, that was probably never going to happen because I have dyslexia. I can't read or write really well. And that I really probably should think about another career because I was never going to make it there.
Ouch.
And I got to tell you, even in that moment, I was crushed.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely crushed. And I remember even going to my guidance counselor. Again, guidance counselor is supposed to provide guidance. I was like, "Man, I want to get to UConn. I don't know how. I don't know where. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I got to get to UConn. Go to school at UConn. Bristol's just down the road. Like, I can easily get to ESPN. Like, that's the goal. I want to get to ESPN." And he goes, "Neil, I've seen your grades. No, that's never going to happen, buddy. If you make it to community college, that's going to be even a stretch. You need to set the bar a little lower." My point is that I have a feeling people hear this and they're like, "That's terrible. Your whole life maybe has been spent around, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this." And it sounds like even in you, maybe people said that you can't or you shouldn't. And you're like, "Really? Let me show you. Ta-da, here it is." How did you do that? How did you, again, maybe eliminate some of the noise? I mean, you're wearing AirPods right now. They have this great feature, noise canceling. How did you eliminate the noise to focus on you and what Monica could do? And then we'll play our game.
I'm not sure I had much of that noise simply because I was the smart kid. I had the noise the other way. You have to do these things. You have to be the top of your class. You have to go to a really good school. You have to be successful. I was voted most likely to succeed in my high school class of 200 people. I can't disappoint those people. Like, I have to go do the things. When I finished high school, I went to college as a biomedical engineering pre-med major, not because I knew anything about biomedical engineering, it sounded great. It sounded so good. I was going to be a pediatric oncologist. I didn't even know what that meant when I was 18, but that's what I told people I was going to be because it sounded good. There's no way in hell I could be a pediatric oncologist, by the way. Sick children crush me. I will cry instantly at a sick child, especially now that I'm a mom. I actually think I had the noise from the other side of like, you have to do this in order to not disappoint people. I had to do that and a little bit more. I think it can go either way when you're told, no, you can't do this and you have to prove them wrong, or the other side of you have to do this, you still prove them wrong. Now I'm to the point where I have to stop trying to prove people wrong. I don't care what they think anymore.
I just think that's incredibly amazing. Is there a prescription you prescribe me? Is that a thing? Are you able to do that as a nurse?
Oh yeah. I write prescriptions all the time.
Okay. So you can write a script. So you can write a script for this. Perfect. So I need the drug or the pill or the shot or the diagnosis, whatever. It's fine. I'm self-diagnosed because, I asked the chat and the chat told me this, so it's fine. And then I went to Google and I verified it, and WebMD said the same thing, that if I can just stop listening to people, I'll be okay. That I don't need to worry about them liking me or loving me or whatever, because self-diagnosed, my number one love language is words of affirmation. And if I could just get rid of that part of my brain that needs that stimulant, much like coffee in the morning, if I could just get rid of the words of affirmation. So is there like a drug or a pill or something I could take to eliminate that? Can you prescribe that right now for me?
I mean, if the answer was yes, I would be a billionaire on a beach with a cabana boy. What I can tell you is those words of affirmation should come from yourself, not someone else. When we learn to accept ourselves as we are, and it takes baby steps, especially body image, self-confidence, how great we are in the world. We've been listening to what everyone else says and comparing ourselves to everyone else. So stop comparing yourself. Especially stop comparing your beginning to someone else's end. We have to learn that we are enough as we are. Until you accept that, that's all that really matters. So many books on it. I've read a ton of them. I've done a lot of therapy to get me to this point. In fact, the first time I went to therapy, I went and I was like, listen, I don't really know why I'm here. I'm really just coming because I tell my patients to come and I want to see what it's like. And he's like, all right, well, how often do you think you want to come? And I was like, I think this is just one time. Like, I'm just here to experience it. And not 3 minutes later, I was ugly girl crying. I got serious mommy issues. I've got serious self-confidence problems and all the other issues. I mean, I've been in therapy for 3 years now, like on a regular basis. I still have a lot of things to deal with. Really understanding like the mental health game is huge. My prescription to you would be therapy.
Speaking of books, you talk about a lot of books being out there. This book kind of caught my attention on Amazon. Maybe you know a little bit about it. It says Dream Job or Total Disaster. Have you read anything like that or maybe thought about that kind of book? The Good, the Bad, and Everything I Forgot to Mention. What is that book about?
Yeah, that's a great book. I hear the author is awesome.
I'll suspect on that.
So I wrote that book and just released it in August of 2025 because I realized when I had this whole like success realization that I don't want to open 10 more clinics, that I needed direct primary care to be a common thing across the country. That is my goal in life. So that when we say the words direct primary care, it's as well known as Duke or Carolina. It's like, oh yeah, of course I have a direct primary care provider. What do you mean you don't have one? Right? Like that's what I need it to be. I can't do that myself. I wrote the book for other healthcare providers who are burnt out, done with the system, not doing what they love, to see if direct primary care is the right fit for them. It's not a how-to book. It's a should you book. Do you have like the entrepreneurial spirit in you, as well as being a healthcare provider, in order to do this? And so at the end of the book, the answer is yes, I should do this, or no, I should not do this. Then I released an online course for those that choose to move forward, that it will take them from idea to launch. It's really just my way to make a bigger impact in the world, to get more healthcare providers into the direct primary care space so that we can make this the norm and fix healthcare in this broken system.
What would be the number one thing you would fix in healthcare right now if I gave you absolute power?
Insurance companies.
Why?
Because they are 100% dictating healthcare. As healthcare providers, we are not in control. Insurance companies are. Until we get care back to provider and patient, we're screwed. I mean, the cost, the actual care that you can provide, the inability to get an appointment, the fact that your provider spends 3 minutes with you, it is not because your provider is choosing that. It is because insurance companies dictate every single thing that happens in our healthcare world. We can't continue on this way, only getting worse. If I could take insurance companies out of healthcare, I think we'd all be a lot better off. Now, obviously there's a time and a place for an insurance company, right? Like my husband had his knee replaced this year. Let me tell you, the cost to an insurance company was $86,000. There's a cash pay surgery center here in Texas. He could have gone there and paid cash for less than 10 grand for the exact same surgery.
That's insane to me. That's insane.
I can talk crap about it for hours.
I'm sure you could. Monica, I would love to say thanks for, no, I will say this. Thanks for being here today. I really appreciate what you shared. I really do. All the Duke stuff aside, the idea of finding the enough inside and finding the validation and the joy inside still feels like the horizon to me on some level. Like I'm just seeing it. I'm never going to get there. It sounds like you have found it.
I don't know that I'm 100% successful at this point. I'm definitely on the right track where I really focus on what is important to me and not what is important to everyone else. It's a process. I struggle with it every single day. Still to this day, I have to make choices. I have to remember that choice is not based off of what other people think. It's about what I want, and that's okay.
And that is okay. Absolutely.
It is okay.
Well, is there a social media of choice? Is there a place where folks can go learn more about you and pick up any books or anything that you're doing? Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So my direct primary care office is Impact Family Wellness, and we are Impact Family Wellness on all the social channels. If you want to learn more about direct primary care, there are offices like mine all across the country. Of course, mine is the best. That's what it is. And then my book and course are on my website, dpcformula.com. So if you or any healthcare providers are looking for a way to actually take care of patients again and get out of the burnout stage, then that would be where they could find me. I'm on LinkedIn. I have a pretty interesting name. So there's not many Monica McKittericks out there in the world. So just Google my name. You'll find me.
Absolutely. Well, hang out with us, Monica. We're going to play our game. This is a game we like to call Heel Hustle.
Oh, gosh.
It's now that time in the show to play the fastest growing game in the podcast world. We call it Heel Hustle. Today, our guest will try to answer all 6 of these questions in 60 seconds or less to win a prize from our prize closet. Audience, feel free to play at home. Let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, hustle!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Monica, 60 seconds. Who was your childhood crush?
Damon Bailey.
What secret talents do you have?
I'm a master at finding a cervix. I know, gross, but it's true.
Nice. A person you would trade places with for a year. 1 year, you get to trade places with them.
Taylor Swift.
Shocking. What is the weirdest job you've ever had?
I was a lifeguard. That's about as weird as I get.
What is the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Starting a business.
Last but certainly not least, who needs a hug today and why?
You do. I mean, I feel like we've opened lots of doors, so I would give you a hug today.
Aw, that's super nice.
That's my prescription.
That is your prescription. Nice job. That was Heel Hustle.
I don't know if I could take the name of that one.
Yeah,
but it made me nervous as the overachiever over here. I was like, oh gosh, I have to succeed at this.
I have to win. Yeah.
Oh.
So when I went to Carolina, I went to a football game. There were some young students there that were maybe inebriated or on something of some sort. And throughout the game, they kept wanting me to shake their hand, high five them, whatever. And I politely finally said to them, maybe not so polite, as I said, listen, I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm here to watch the game. And then after the game, when Carolina won in double overtime, Drake May winning the game, it's been a number of years back, we stormed the field because it was amazing. I say we because it's the collective Carolina we. Before I went went down on the field, the guy's like, finally, he's like, listen, just give me a hug before I go. Just give me a hug. And I looked at him. I said, bro, I'm never going to touch you. I'm never going to see you again. I hope you have a nice life, but you picked the wrong school. And I ran out on the field. So I don't know if I'd hug you, Monica. I'm just saying. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding, of course. Well, again, thanks so much for being here today. Really appreciate all that you gave and all that you shared. I really hope people hear what you said and they really start to unpack some of those packages. Not the Amazon ones, but the packages in their life that they can start to say, okay, why do I do what I do? They can do some box cutting in a sense of like opening that up. Like, okay, I can now open that box. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to find its place. I'm ready to put it where it belongs. So I appreciate you sharing that.
I'm here for it.
All right, guys and gals, kids and campers alike. That is it. That is all. Oh, man, I hate to say this. Okay, she had some value. She brought some stuff. Was it good stuff? That's up for you to decide. But is this you? Are you in that people pleasing? Are you in that I'm going to achieve more to get more to be seen more? Like, is that you? Is your hand up on that? How much would it take? Is it the star on the Walk of Fame? Is it the blue check mark? You remember those? By the way, you can buy those now. I don't know if you knew that. You can buy them. You don't have to earn them anymore. But what would it take for you to finally say once and for all, I am enough? What would that look like if you finally were able to say, no matter what, I am enough? So maybe that's the prescription today is, here's your homework assignment. You ready? You're going to go to the mirror, turn on the bathroom light. You're going to look deeply into that mirror. You're going to pause for like 5 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to look inside and you're going to say, I am enough. That's your assignment. Let me know if you do that. There'll be a test next week to find out. OPSpodcast.com is a great place to check us out. Past, present, and future episodes are there. OPSpodcast.com. You can also find us on the socials, of course, at OPS Podcast Show. A little different on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And of course, don't forget this. So important before you go. Remember, when you walk in other people's shoes, you really do get a different perspective on life. I want to thank you so much for listening. And guess what? Stay tuned till next week when we walk in other people's shoes.